Hi and welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to show you how I made the green tunic and the pants for the Link costume. I used the same pattern I used for the gold tunic slash chain mail, except this time I put a V in the front of it. I originally planned on this tunic to be lined, however later on I did take the lining out and just put facing around the neck. I did not like the way the lining looked underneath. The other difference between this tunic and the chainmail is the sleeves are shorter and the neckline is a lot wider. Once all my pieces are cut out, I go ahead and I sew up the shoulder seams. Then I go ahead and attach the sleeves before I sew up the side seams. And I do apologize for the way the video looks. My camera was having really bad issues during this entire build. Here I'm actually cutting the V into the tunic. Now it's time to sew up the side seams and the bottom of the sleeves. With the side seams, I do not go all the way down to the bottom of the tunic because if you look at the reference images, the seam actually is open from the waist down. I cut a facing out of the same green fabric and I did attach that to the top of the tunic, and to give it a little bit more stability in the slit down the front, I did add some fusible interfacing in between the facing and the tunic itself. And once that interfacing was attached, I went ahead and flipped it and made sure those points were nice and pointy. And as you've seen in my spring video where I made the rose dress and I made bias tape, I did exactly the same thing. If you want to check that out, I will link it below or in the iCard above. And according to the reference image on the sleeves, there is a little seam there. So here I just cut a slit to make that seam. And then I sewed it up. And with that seam sewed up, I go ahead and I attach the bias tape to the end of the sleeve to cover the raw edges. Also with the sleeves about 4 inches up at the top of that seam that I created, there is this like flap or strap that's on the top of it. Here I'm just hand sewing it on because I forgot to put it on before I sewed up the side seams. Also with those seams on the sleeves, there is some embroidery or stringing through those seams. So here I'm just creating that effect with some embroidery thread. And with the rest of that bias tape, I do add it to the bottom of the tunic to cover the raw edges. I also added to the side of the tunic, as you can see from the reference image, that it has that little detail. I also took my embroidery thread and added those V shapes to the sides as well. And with that, the tunic is done. I did find all this material at Walmart in their pre-cut selection, so I felt that since I found it all in the same spot at the same time, it was meant to be. And now I'm going to show you how I made the pants. For her pants, it's just a basic knit pant. I did use one of her pants that she already has in her closet to make the pattern with. And all I did was put her pants on the fabric and just cut around it for the front and the back side. And then I sewed up side seams and then crotch seams and then joined them together. I did attach a waistband with a piece of elastic and I hemmed the bottom edges, and that's the simple pants. And once the pant legs are sewn and put together, I went ahead and made a waistband and put a piece of elastic through it. And with the hem, all I did is I rolled the leg up twice and just sewed it down. And with that, the pants are done. Next week, I'll show you how I made the hats, the belts, and the bags. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next week. Bye!